So on yesterday we studied about digestion. We started digestion and we studied about this portion, okay, this much portion. We studied that there are in starting, okay, this is alimentary canal and it starts from mouth to anus. So we studied the mouth part. Okay, so mouth part is external part and the internal part is known as buccal cavity. And in this buccal cavity there is a presence of, let me draw this again. Okay, so this is mouth and inside mouth there is a buccal cavity, and buccal cavity is having mouth and tongue, sorry, tooth and tongue. Okay, and in the inside the buccal cavity there are presence of some salivary gland. These salivary glands secrete saliva. Okay, and there is a presence of salivary amylase. Okay, so these salivary amylase convert starch to simple sugar. Okay, and because starch is not a absorbable form and it cannot be absorbed by our body, so the simple sugar which is broken down form of starch, it is absorbable form and our body can absorb it easily. So now based on this, okay, we have to perform an activity, the activity which is activity 6.3. Okay, activity 6.3, what does it says? It says that uh, first of all we have to take two test tubes. Okay, test tube A and test tube B. Okay, and in both of the test tubes we have to put starch solution. Okay, starch solution, and in this test tube, in test tube A, okay, we will add saliva also. Okay, and in this tube, in this test tube we will add nothing. Okay, so in this test tube when starch and saliva are together, okay, then this starch will break down this saliva into sugar. So finally the product which is present in this test tube is sugar. Okay, and in this test tube there is only presence of starch and there is no saliva. Okay, so starch will not be broken down because we know that starch will break down this saliva and there will be presence of sugar inside after the reaction, but there will be no reaction at all. Okay, because there is starch and we add nothing. Okay, so what happened after this? Okay, after this we will add iodine to both of the test tubes. Okay, again add iodine and again add iodine. Okay, so what happened exactly, that we know that in this test tube there is a presence of sugar. So now because the starch is broken down, so sugar plus iodine forms nothing, and there will be finally there will be no visible reaction or no visible change. Okay, but in this type of in this test tube or in this type of reaction we know that starch is as it is, so there is a presence of starch. Okay, so starch is as it is and there is no visible change because sugar and iodine creates nothing, but there is a starch and starch is not converted into sugar because there is a we didn't added anything. Okay, in this we added saliva and here we didn't added anything, so it will be starch, and the starch plus iodine, you know what does it form? It forms a blue black color compound. Okay, So in previous classes we studied that starch and iodine, yes, in plant. Okay, when we studied about plant. So it is a blue black compound. Okay, so here it will convert to this blue black compound. Okay, because starch reacts with iodine, because we added nothing, and here we added saliva. So if both of them act together, they will form sugar, and sugar iodine forms nothing, and starch iodine forms a blue black color. Okay, blue black compound. Okay, so if you have any problem in this activity, you can ask me. Or I'm moving to another topic. If you have any problem in this activity, you can ask me. Okay, or I'm moving to another topic. Okay, I'm moving to another topic, so you can ask me if you have any type of problem. Okay, so this is our nasal passage. This is our nasal passage. Okay, this nasal passage will opens into lungs. Okay, and this part which is passage from mouth, this part which is a passage from mouth. Okay, this passage will open into stomach. Is sugar also, okay, one of you asked me a question, is sugar also form of starch? If yes, then there should be change. No, yes, sugar is a form of starch, but sugar is not starch. Okay, sugar is a form of starch. Remember that sugar is a form of starch. Yes, when starch will break down, it will form sugar. Obviously, yes, but there is a difference in starch and sugar. Okay, starch is something else and sugar is something else. Okay, so sugar is a simplified product of starch. Okay, other than sugar there will be more substances will be formed, but the major substance is sugar. Okay, so these are two forms. It is very complex form and it is very simple form. Okay, you know that when we break down C6H12O6, what does it form? CO2 and H2O. We know this. Okay, same thing happen. Okay, there is a relation, but there is no relation, because this is glucose. You can eat this, you can taste this. Okay, you can see this, it is a hard substance. Okay, this is our sugar and this is carbon dioxide. You cannot eat this, you cannot taste this. Okay, you cannot see this, and you and water is something very different. So you know, when starch will break down into sugar, definitely it will form sugar, but both of them are entirely different from each other. So definitely sugar has nothing to do with iodine, and starch is definitely, it has to do something with with iodine. Okay, so it will form a blue black compound, and it will form it forms nothing. Okay, because you know that when a complex substances breaks down into simple substances, okay, this sugar is made up of it was starch before, but now both of them has nothing to do with each other. Both of them are having very different chemical formula. So this part will open into digestive system. Okay, so there are two tracks. Okay, there are two tracks, and one track is opening into lungs and another track is opening into digestive part. Okay, and here you can see both of them are connected together at this particular point. Both of them are connecting together, but this is not of our interest right now. Okay, so this part, this long part, okay, just outside from we know that how our buccal cavity chew food and what saliva does. Okay, the saliva makes food very makes food very uh, soft. Okay, and the soft food, okay, it will go down. So this soft food is known as chyme. Okay, so this tube will open into digestive part, sorry, and it is known as bolus. Sorry, bolus. Okay, so what is bolus? Bolus is a softened food. Okay, and which is aided with saliva. Okay, why this food which we take? Okay, sometimes we eat hard substances, sometimes we eat something which is very hard and crunchy, so we need to make it very soft. okay, and we may need to make them very soft and easily passageable. Okay, what is the meaning of easily passageable? That this is our food pipe. Okay, this is our food pipe, and this food pipe will open into digestive system or digestive organs. Okay, so this is our food pipe. Okay, and it will open into, better if we say, digestive organs. Okay, so as the food will pass down, okay, so this food will on this food pipe is also known as esophagus. Okay, this is known as esophagus. Okay, so this food food balls are known as bolus. Okay, and they has to go down. Okay, so they will come in contact with stomach. Okay, so that they will come in contact with stomach. Okay, so they don't go as in this manner. Okay, before going down they has to perform an activity which is known as peristaltic activity, or also known as peristaltic movements. Okay, what is the peristaltic movement? If you have seen some people taking water, okay, if you have seen some people taking water inside their throat, or if you have seen, okay, today it is your duty to see some people while eating, you can see your sister, father, mother, brother, okay, grandmother, those who are eating food. So you just have to notice their throat part, because this throat part, okay, this throat part, this is the throat part. Okay, at only this region you can, this activity is visible. Okay, so as the food will go to inside, okay, as the food will go inside, okay, so this is the food. Okay, so as the food will pass down, okay, the linings of these esophagus will get swell slightly, because the food material waste is going down. So as the food material is going down, the sides of these esophagus will slightly, they will, you know, doesn't mean that swell, but they will, you know, change their food, because this part is going down. As the part is going down, the boundaries of the boundaries of this food pipe, okay, the boundaries of this food pipe, these boundaries, I made two color because want to make you sure that there are two pipes. One pipe which is nasal patches which open into lungs, and second pipe is digestive pipe, or it is known as food pipe, and it will lead to digestive organs, okay, which are stomach. So as the food will go down, okay, it will change to this shape. Okay, so this type of movement is known as peristaltic movement, and this peristaltic, sorry, this peristaltic, I wrote wrong, peristaltic, peristaltic. Okay, so this is peristaltic movement. Okay, so if once the food is down, okay, the food is in stomach, the food is in stomach, this time the food is in stomach. Okay, this is the food and it is in stomach. Okay, so these also esophagus will come to its normal shape. Okay, it's come to its normal shape. Okay, so the boundaries which changed due to entering of food, or sometimes when we drink water, okay, this movements create which changes the shape of these esophagus or food pipe. And if once the thing is inside, okay, the shape of this food pipe will again come to normal. Okay, so again food is inside, food come to stomach, and the shape of this food pipe will again change. Okay, it will be normal. Okay, so I'm deleting this food bolus because now it is inside. Okay, just beneath this, okay, just beneath this food pipe or esophagus, there is a presence of stomach. Okay, so this is our stomach. Okay, I'm drawing stomach. Okay, this is stomach, and now food is inside stomach. So stomach is a large organ, and it can expand if you eat much food. Okay, if you're starving, if you're having no food, or if you're having less food, then it is in contracted form. Okay, and it can expand to a extent. Okay, it can expand, okay, from its natural position, or we can say from its natural size. Okay, so it can expand, and you can feel sometime you, if you have eaten much amount of food, or if you haven't, if you have taken much amount of water or juice, okay, you will feel something like my stomach is filling, and I think my stomach is getting outside. Okay, and it will again go to inside. Okay, so this is what about what you have eaten. Okay, so it can change its shape because it is a muscular organ. It is muscular. Okay, it is a muscular part, and it can change its shape, and it helps mixing of the food with more digestive food, juices. So this is food and helps to mix food for with digestive juices, because it will secrete some digestive juices. Okay, now what stomach does actually, in stomach there is a presence of some glands which is known as gastric glands. Okay, there are basically three layers which are present in stomach. All of them are muscular, so there are basically some layers. Okay, layers. I'm drawing layers of stomach. Okay, so these are the layers, and in these layer they are having some glands, and these glands are present in the wall of stomach, and these gastric glands, okay, there are glands. I'm drawing the glands. Okay, glands are present in all three layers. Okay, so these layers, or these glands, which are known as gastric glands, okay, which are present all over. Okay, so these three layers secrete something. Okay, these gastric glands, or these layer which are having gastric glands, gastric means stomach. Okay, gastric glands, gastric means stomach, it is related to stomach. So first of all, these gastric gland releases hydrochloric acid, that is our HCl. Okay, the real HCl. Okay, because I told you that what is HCl. Okay, it is very strong acid. Okay, second thing, these glands secrete which is known as pepsin. Okay, so this is pepsin, and this pepsin helps to digest proteins. Okay, we take three types of food: carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Okay, so this helps protein, and these HCl, okay, helps this pepsin to work very good, because these HCl provide acidic material. So the environment of our stomach is acidic actually. Okay, our stomach is acidic actually, and because of this acidic nature, pepsin works very good. Okay, so HCl does two things. Okay, first of all, HCl does two things. Okay, I'm writing this here. First of all, acid provide very good environment, so the pepsin works. Pepsin can work. Okay, and second thing, HCl can uh, kill some bacteria which is present inside our body, or we sometimes we eat some contaminated food which contain bacteria and some other microorganism. Okay, and sometimes we eat the eggs of small and organism. Okay, we cannot see them with our naked eyes, and in unconsciousness we eat them, so it can kill microorganism. Okay, so it does two things. Okay, pepsin helps to digest protein. Now there is a problem, because if the HCl is present in much higher amount, okay, HCl is present in our stomach in much higher amount. Okay, so because of this HCl, okay, our stomach can get corrode. Okay, you know that these acids can give corrosion. Okay, so because of this HCl, our skin, our stomach, which is very muscular part and which is very soft part, it can get corrode. So what happen exactly, that some of these gastric glands secrete mucus. Okay, it secrete mucus. Some of these gastric glands secrete HCl, some of these gastric glands secrete pepsin. Okay, pepsin. Okay, and pepsin digests protein, and some of these gastric glands secretes mucus. Okay, and this mucus, it is mucus is something like when you have cold and you secrete something from your nasal cavity. Okay, that is exactly thing which is known as mucus. Okay, it is a gummy part and it is like slime. Okay, so when there is a huge amount of acid, okay, there is a huge amount of acid in our stomach. Okay, because acid is useful for us, then it can corrode our stomach. It can corrode our stomach, and it can corrode our stomach. Okay, it can digest the walls of stomach, these acids, because it is very concentrate very produced in concentrated amount, and it is very uh, strong acid. So there is corrosion and it can corrode our stomach. Okay, it can corrode our stomach. Okay, it can corrode this part. Okay, so this corrosion sometimes occur, and this is known as ulcer. Okay, this corrosion is known as ulcer. It occurs sometime, but to get rid from this, our stomach also secretes this mucus, and this mucus is present all over, and it helps to not corrode. Okay, it helps us our to not corrode, and it can nullifies the effect of HCl. So HCl remain in the stomach, but it will do its own work, like helps pepsinogen to digest protein, and it can kill microorganism, but it cannot corrode our stomach because mucus is something protective layer. Okay, it is a protective layer. Okay, and it mucus. Okay, what is the use of mucus? Protection. Okay, protection of stomach from stomach HCl. Okay, both of things are produced by stomach. Okay, now this is the working of our stomach. uh, Sometimes, okay, there is a huge secretion of HCl, and this HCl will uh, secreted in much amount that it will flow upwards. It will flow upwards. It will flow in this direction. Okay, upwards. Okay, and it will create a problem which is known as acidity. Okay, so these HCl can create also acidity. You have here the term, and due to because it will secrete in much amount and it will go upside into food pipe. Okay, this can go upside into food pipe. Okay, so this can create acidity. So HCl is good but not that much good. Okay, so in normal condition it is good, but in not normal condition it can harm our body. Okay, so from here, okay, now the food particles are here. Okay, and they are treated with HCl, they are treated with pepsin, which can digest food protein. Okay, after this, okay, after this treatment, the food material will go or pass on to another part of our body. Okay, and which is known as intestine. Okay, so basically we are having two intestine, small intestine and large intestine, but here it is going to another part which is known as small intestine. So I'm drawing a small intestine right now. Okay, so this is our small intestine. Now, this small intestine is actually the longest part of our alimentary canal. What is the alimentary canal? Something which is present from our mouth to anus. Okay, something which is a pipe which is present from our mouth and anus. It is not studied yet. So, small intestine is the largest part of our alimentary canal. Okay, first thing. Second thing, that it is very long part, and it is up to 9 meters long, but it is present in very compact form. Compact means in this folding part, so it is up, it can be approximately 9 meters long, but it is present in this compact fashion. Compact means folded fashion. Okay, so it can be fit into our very our body space is very less, and the size of or the length of this is very much long. Okay, so small intestine, now I want to tell you one thing, that basically there are two types of organism. First is herbivorous and second is carnivorous. Okay, herbivorous and carnivorous. Okay, so herbivorous are those who take only raw plant products, and carnivorous are those organisms which are generally dependent on herbivorous, so they eat only plants or vegetation, okay, green things, and they eat meat. Okay, so those animals, those who are dependent on plant, generally they take cellulose, because cellulose is present in the cell wall of plant. If you remember that the cell wall of plant is made up of cellulose. Okay, so it is, remember that it is much difficult to digest a cellulose in comparison of meat. That means the digestion of meat is simple. Digestion is simple, okay, when we compare both, but the digestion of cellulose is complex. Yes. Okay, if you eat any raw plant, okay, it will be difficult for you to digest it. Okay, and definitely we can't digest cellulose because humans doesn't have any type of enzymes which can digest these type of raw plant materials, salads, and cabbages and all these things, plant products. Okay, but it is complex process to digest cellulose, and it is very simple comparatively to digest meat. Yes, this is the fact. Okay, so generally we don't digest cellulose. Okay, and if I will get time, I will tell you that why plants are digestible. Generally we said that meat is less digestible and plants are more digestible. Okay, so it is cellulose which is making plant very complex to digest, but other than these cellulose, plants are having so many other types of substances which is easy to digest. Okay, so you can't digest raw plants. Okay, you can't digest cellulose. Okay, animals can't digest this. Okay, so herbivorous animals can't digest cellulose, but they are having some bacteria which helps to digest them. Okay, so come to the basic thing. Okay, the small intestine of these type of animal, okay, are comparatively is comparatively long. Okay, so this is the small intestine of animal which are herbivorous, and it is comparatively long, and the small intestine of those animal which are dependent on meat, their and this small intestine is comparatively small. Okay, because digestion of food is comparatively less complex than the digestion of cellulose or raw plant product. Okay, and that's why the animal which are herbivorous are having long small intestine, and those animals which are totally dependent on meat, their small intestine are comparatively small. So don't forget this. So this is a small intestine. Okay, and those who eat grass, okay, they have a long small intestine. So you could be asked with the question that what about a deer is small intestine, and what about the lion is small intestine? So definitely lion is having a small intestine, and deer which eats grass, okay, it is having a long is small intestine. Don't forget this. Okay, so this is the our small intestine, and small intestine is a site of digestion of some complex food substances. Like, don't forget that we take our food, okay, starch is exactly, okay, if I come to original point, come to starting, I told you that directly or indirectly we are dependent on plants, and plants produce glucose, and by glucose plant produces fat, plant produces proteins, plant produces carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are same as glucose, okay, they are also known as carbs. They are same as glucose, but there is some structural changes, okay, both of them are sweet, okay, and they also produce starch. Okay, so we can eat glucose, we can eat fat, we can eat protein, we can eat carbohydrates, and we can eat starch. So starch is previously digested by saliva, because salivary amylase is present in saliva, and starch is digested previously. Okay, so now we have to digest only three things: fat, proteins, and carbohydrates. Now why I'm not talking about glucose, because glucose is itself a digested form. Okay, it is very simple form, we don't need to digest it. Okay, generally it is very simple form. And carbohydrates are something, if glucose is glucose and carbohydrates are generally so much similar, and the glucose is very simple version of carbohydrates. Okay, fat and proteins are just modified versions. Fat and proteins are modified version. Okay, there is something change. Okay, but carbohydrates is complex version, and glucose is a simple version. So there is not a big difference in glucose and carbohydrate. So it is very simple, and we generally don't need to digest it. Okay, it is a digested form already. So this small intestine helps to digest fat, helps to digest protein, okay, and helps to digest carbohydrates. Okay, three things can be digested by this small intestine, and the starch is previously digested. So there are secretions of something which helps to digest all these type of food materials. So this in this digestive system, okay, there are presence of two specific glands. First of all, it is known as liver. And liver, this is liver, I'm drawing liver, and liver is present here. Okay, this is liver. uh, can I remove this? Okay, this is liver, and inside liver there is a gland, because liver is an organ, and inside liver there is a presence of a gland which is known as bile duct. Okay, bile duct. Okay, and this bile duct secretes bile juice, which is a digestive enzyme. Okay, and at this side, okay, between stomach, and don't forget their positions, in between stomach and small intestine, there is a presence of another there is a presence of another organ. Okay, and this organ is known as pancreas. Okay, so let me draw it here. So this is stomach. Okay, and there is a presence of liver, and in liver there is a presence of bile duct, and these bile duct secretes bile juice. Okay, and at this site there is a presence of pancreas, and it secretes pancreatic juice. Okay, so this is pancreas. Okay, this is pancreas, and it secretes pancreatic juice. Okay, so the food which entered from stomach to small intestine. Okay, so there are the presence of sphincter. Okay, what is the sphincter? Sphincter means, have you seen rubber band? Okay, how the rubber band get stretches? Okay, how the rubber band get stretches? Okay, and after that it will can to its normal position, so you can stretch them. Okay, and you can also shrink them, and you can also stretch them. Okay, so this is our stomach. Okay, and at this stomach there is a presence of these sphincter muscles. Okay, so what does they do? If the food is one, if the food is outside from stomach, or if the food is the stomach provided the food to small intestine. So if once if the food is outside from the stomach, okay, once if the food is outside from the stomach, okay, it is outside, this is food. Okay, so this sphincter can uh extend. Okay, and if once the food is outside, okay, so this sphincter can allow the passage of food. Okay, this sphincter allows the passage of food. Okay, so they can get extension. Okay, they can take extension, they can change the size. Okay, they can change the size. Okay, they can change the size of this passage part. Okay, they can increase the size of this passage part so that the food can go to a small intestine. So this is known as this is the work of sphincter muscles, and this is how sphincter muscles helps to move food from its stomach to a small intestine. Okay, so the food which is now here, okay, the food which is here now, okay, so the atmosphere of our stomach is actually acidic in nature. We know because of this acid HCl, the atmosphere of stomach is acidic, we know. Okay, okay, so the nature of stomach is acidic. Okay, but the food which is passed to the small intestine, okay, now the small intestine wants to digest food with the help of this bile juice and with the help of this pancreatic juice. Okay, and it wants to digest fat, protein and carbohydrate, so small intestine will secrete something. But in this acidic medium, okay, because this is stomach and it is having acidic medium, so in this acidic medium food cannot be digested properly further. Okay, it is okay that stomach is having acidic food, it's okay till stomach, but after this level acidic medium is a useless thing, or it will not help to digest the food. Okay, so for the working of it has to be, the food has to be made alkaline. Okay, so the food has to, or the stomach, so sorry, the atmosphere of the food is has to be made alkaline or basic. Okay, because this is the appropriate medium for the working of pancreatic juices or pancreatic enzymes. Okay, so for this reason the medium of food is changed from acidic to alkaline. Okay, so the bile juice, okay, the bile juice which is alkaline in nature, okay, bile juice which is alkaline in nature is secreted into a small intestine. So bile juice which is alkaline in nature, okay, bile duct secrete bile juice. Okay, we know that this is our bile duct, and it will secrete, okay, this bile juice, and the bile juice, nature of this bile juice is alkaline. Okay, so if when the bile juice come in contact with this food material, the food material converts to alkaline medium, and now if there is alkaline medium, the pancreatic juice, okay, the juice or the enzymes which are secreted by pancreas can works very properly. Okay, now I'm finishing my class. Okay, and from tomorrow we have extensions. Okay, we will take a full